I did remember something about the 1978 series that I absolutely love. That is the moment when Jo and Beth are by the seaside. Jo is either writing a letter for Friedrich or she is reading a letter from him. Beth takes it. She's teasing her and calls him her professor. It is adorable. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do remember. They were corresponding. I do remember that he gets a letter from Jo, and he is the one who says that your sister is dying. And when he writes back, Beth is like, oh, another letter from your professor. And Jo is like, he is not my professor. She is not angry or anything, but you kind of feel like she would wish he was. I do remember that. That was a really nice moment. It is not only a nice moment showing Jo and Friedrich's relationship and how much they interact, but it is a nice moment between Jo and Beth, I got to say.
I really like it, and it is pretty rare to see Jo and Friedrich writing these letters in the adaptations because it is one of my favorite parts in the books. They become pen pals after they depart in New York, and when they get engaged, he moves to West to work, to raise money essentially, and they write these long love letters to each other. I always thought that was really romantic. I always enjoy watching them writing to each other. It happens in this adaptation and also in the 2017 series.
I was going to say there is not a lot of versions of Jo and Friedrich writing to each other. I think it is because stuff happens so quickly. When I think about the 33 and 49 versions, it feels like a month has passed or 2 months after Jo leaving New York before Friedrich comes to see her. Whereas in the book, it is few years.
You do get to know a person when you write letters to them. It is very personal, writing a letter. It is more personal than an Instagram message. I just love it.
I like that we actually really see and hear their voices, the voiceover of their letters. That is a really nice moment. I am glad you did remind me. That is a really good moment of them.
I always felt that if Beth would have lived, she would have loved Jo and Friedrich together, definitely.
Oh my God, yeah, I remember a long time ago, someone had asked me, how do you think Friedrich and Beth would have been with each other? I wrote, they would have connected each other through music, because obviously we know Friedrich plays the piano and violin. Am I right?
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing my love for Little Woman. All the transcriptions of the Little Woman podcast are now available as paperbacks, ebooks, and as audiobooks on Amazon, Kindle, Nook, and bookstores. You can find all the links from the description. And now, back to the show.
So I feel like he would have, with his gentle nature, approach her and be like, hello, Beth. I heard that you are a great lover of music. I brought this piece of music we can play together. She would play the piano and he would play the violin, and that would be their introduction. I think I have a story somewhere where Beth sits there and goes like, Jo, if he becomes my brother-in-law, I will be so happy. And Jo is like, what? That is her moment of being like, wait a minute, sort of realizing her own feelings. I should reblog that because I did write that a while ago.
Do it.
Yeah, I have to find it. But yeah, it was great. That was a pretty good moment.
I do think Jo did fell for Friedrich because there is that familiarity to Beth. There is some kind of similar essence with them. They both have this ability to calm her, and that is important in both of those relationships.
I have always felt that Friedrich and Beth were really similar. I think they have the same zodiac. I think they are both Cancers.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
Of course.
Henry David Thoreau was a Cancer.
Yes. I was trying to figure out everybody's birthdays from the story, and I remember thinking I am just going to look at the people they are based off to help me. I think with Amy and Beth, when I tried to look it up, all I got, oh, this is the year they were born. I didn't get the month. Jo, she was born in November. She is Sagittarius, but I had a hard time finding what the certain characters are, so I had to check out their birthdays.
Cancer is a water sign, a new headcanon.
My mom is a Sagittarius. That is why I feel pretty certain that Jo is a Sagittarius. They have similar features.
Yes, I think Jo is a Sagittarius or a Scorpio.
I would have said that Jo was a Scorpio, but when I checked it, she was born in the end of November, making her Sagittarius.
Okay.
Louisa May Alcott was a Sagittarius. That is why people think that Jo is Sagittarius too.
Then it must be true. I'm a Virgo. I was just born in the moment when Leo turns into Virgo, and I always thought that I'm a little bit of a Leo because of that.
I am Pisces. Aries comes after that, but I don't feel like I am much of an Aries. When I went to look at Sagittarius, their fire signs are Aries, but also Leo, which is what I thought Amy is because May Alcott was Leo.
Oh, I love that.
So it sort of makes sense to me why the two of them butt heads.
That makes a lot of sense.
Also why both Jo and Amy get along with Meg and Beth, because Meg is a Pisces. She was born in February, if I remember correctly. Meg and Beth are water signs, and then Jo and Amy are fire signs.
This explains everything in Little Woman.
One of the things you never expected, obviously, is from this ranking, is the position of the zodiac.
I don't know if this is true. I have had quite a few people in the comments writing me that they think that Laurie is a Gemini. Maybe. Gemini is an air sign and their moods can switch pretty fast.
I remember reading one study on that, and they had put him as an Aquarius, and that is another air sign. It is funny that you say Gemini because when I looked up his birthday, it was around Aquarius between January and February. It makes sense in the terms of the relationships between the characters.
He is definitely an air sign, then.
One of the reasons I think he is Aquarius is when I read the personality for a man, it said rebellious, charismatic, and spontaneous.
That sounds a lot like Laurie.
So I was like, okay. They also put on their good sites too. They are honest, loyal, and devoted. I think when you get past the more negative sides, he is extremely loyal. He stays loyal to Jo throughout the years, even if it does not become romantic. He is still friends with her. And there are times when I feel like he is pretty honest too with Amy.
I think we need to make another episode about zodiac signs in Little Woman.
Yeah, some people are going to be like, zodiac signs are nonsense, but there are people who believe or are interested, even if it is just for fun, who likes this kind of stuff.
Yes, even if you don't believe in zodiac signs, they can be a lot of fun.
It is one of those symbolism type of things. When you are writing a character, it can make a character to make more sense